My name is Adrian Hulet. Am I supposed to say the band I was in?
No.
No, and I was in that band.
Yeah.
Okay.
What band were you in?
I've been in a bunch, most notably from like 2004 to 2009, I was in the band Oso Closo, based out of Denton.
That's what I identify you with most, but not that's not how I met you.
Is it not?
Do you remember, or if you could think?
Okay, first time meeting you, if it was not Oso, then my assumption is that it was an RTB2 show or something.
I remember you coming to Big Ass Beer Night and playing drums with Joey Kendall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was the sound guy for Big Ass Beer Night. Do you know that?
Yeah, I remember Big Ass Beer Night. Where was it?
Rubber Gloves.
At Rubber Gloves, right, because they had the big ass beers.
Yeah,
and,
32-ounce beer for like $1.
Right.
Or it might have gone up to $1.25 at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, so I played drums for Joey for I think a year or so. And Joey and I went to high school together. And
Northwestern Hills?
He went to Colleyville Heritage High School in Colleyville.
Okay.
But he was a Grapevine kid. So there's 2 high schools in that area. I went to both, incidentally. It was just a family move, and I switched because all of the cool kids that were playing in indie rock bands and stuff all went to Grapevine. And Colleyville was this really weird, sterile environment. And I just had all these friends across town. So I switched. But while I was at Colleyville, I got to know Joey because he was a weird dude and, a weird kid. And then afterwards, I think shortly after I moved to Denton, he put out a record or a little EP. I can't remember the name, but I think I reached out to him and was like, "What do you have going on for live situation? What's your drummer situation?" And he was all about it. So I jumped in with him for a while, learned all those tunes, and then we did some touring. I think we went up. In fact, yeah, this some of the only Western touring that West Coast and Arizona and New Mexico stuff. So I have a lot of core cool touring memories with Joey because I haven't been to that part of the country with any other bands really.
You got Oso Closo didn't really tour out west as much?
We toured the Midwest constantly.
Okay.
Every couple months we would just go the same route up the Midwest and do Kansas and Wisconsin and Chicago and all that, but we never really went out west. We went to Hollywood one time to remix a record. To LA.
Okay.
But we didn't play out there.
Okay.
Ever. It was all just Midwest trudging, doing the thing.
That's
before the internet too. So
yeah.
It was just
with Joey, you mean?
With Joey and with Oso, really. I mean, there was internet, but the whole world of building your brand online and being able to just get listeners and friends and, street team people and all that stuff, using social media just didn't exist yet. So we were I feel like we're at the very tail end of that, you just got to go get on the road, just keep going back to the same places, build fan bases in cities, and just build it that way. And so that was our approach.
Yeah. It seemed successful at the time anyway.
I think we were on a good track. We had a handful of markets where folks came out and we made friends and we had crews of people that would come see us and hang out and want to party and all that stuff. But that's just such a financially fruitless endeavor, which is fine, I guess, when you're in your early 20s.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. And that's something that's kind of funny about playing music now with players that I want to play with. It's way more of a business transaction. I'd be friends with the players and we care about one another, but the idea that I could call the guys I want to play with and be like, "Hey, do you want to jam on Thursday on my tunes?" It's just that's not a thing anymore. Now it's here's the MP3s, here's the tunes, like, here's the show date, show up prepared,
And you have to,
and I'll cut you a check.
yeah, like no matter if I make money or not,
Right,
you will make some money.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the most part, there's obviously a couple guys like Mark Lettieri has become, you know, my best bud. We've become really close.
Yeah.
And we hang out all the time. And the idea of Mark accepting money from me for anything is pretty funny. Like he would make fun of me if I tried. But like as far as, you know, session players for records and guys for live shows, like, you know, obviously they 100% need to be taken care of, and I don't have any like hang-ups about that. But I've often thought like it'd be cool to start a band with buddies where there is not a financial obligation, or it really is just like a passion project and everybody's down. But it's just unrealistic at this stage of life, I think. Everyone's got kids and mortgages and can't just cut out chunks of time for free.
Yeah. I tend to think of it that way now. Like when I go to play with Ryan or with Daniel, or if another friend asks me to do something, I never ask about the money.
Right.
I usually tell people, and I guess I wouldn't say this to someone if it had to come down to this, but typically if I ask about the money, it means I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so with any of my friends, I'm just like, yes. If the date's available and I can do it, I want to do it. And then I think of it as like, we don't golf and we don't play cards and we don't go hunting. This is just the thing that we do.
Right. Yeah.
And if like at the end of the night, someone's like, hey, here's $25. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, cool.
I have the same attitude entirely. I think if music was exclusively my income, then I probably would have a little bit more rigid attitude towards like my time and what I'll give it to, but it is supplemental at best. Mm-hmm. So if I get a call for something that sounds interesting, I'm down. Mm-hmm. Like I don't care about whether or not there's going to be money attached to it. And, you know, I also feel like I run in circles where it's pretty common for everybody to just take care of everybody else. So I usually, I don't know. If I get a call for something like that, I'm going to go do it.
Are you missing work to be here?
No, I'm self-employed, so
right.
I own a commercial pressure washing company. Mm-hmm. And
what's the name of it?
It's called Gunk Busters.
Okay.
Very cute. Yeah.
Website?
Gunkbustersdfw.com for all of your commercial property care needs. Give us a ring. But yeah, I was actually
unofficial sponsor.
Yeah, I pressure washed until 2 a.m. last night. So
oh my God,
I took the morning and lunchtime off today to just hang out and be with you, man.
Cool. I'm glad.
Yeah, me too.
When you reached out, did you think maybe we would end up here?
I had a little thought that I would like to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I was not expecting you to say let's do it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I'm down. I mean,
yeah.
My first thought was like, oh, maybe if I, you know, when I'm closer to a record release or I'm closer to something to promote, I'll go on that podcast. But actually, who knows when the hell that'll be? So
right. Is there any? So
yeah, kind of.
I first heard like mention of record. I guess you were doing kind of a.
Oh, don't say how long ago I said.
No. This was recent, but it's like
okay,
this.
Yeah.
You may not want me to bring this up,
no,
but it was like
it's okay.
It kind of in your eulogy for Sean.
Oh yeah. So yeah, for the listeners, if you don't know, Sean Martin, who is like, you know, was the greatest keyboard player on the planet, in my opinion, and just like the best dude ever.
Yeah.
Passed away recently after being comatose for a really long time after some kind of brain aneurysm. I'm not exactly sure all the details of everything that happened, but yeah, that was a really hard thing. And one of the things that Sean and I's relationship was about was back in the day with Oso, we tapped him to come play with us and play on our records and play live, and he was just like willing to, which was insane. We couldn't believe it because he's just like the greatest, just musical mind, entertainer, just all around, all across the board. And then some years later, after Oso was over, he called me to come sing and co-write a song on his debut album.
I listened to that on the way here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just beautiful.
Pretty little song.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah. Love that thing. I loved that he called me for that. It was just such a cool... Sean always sort of... Because I have a real inferiority complex, I think. I think I backed myself into a corner playing with musicians that were just astronomically beyond my level. Like, from the jump.
That's always been what I want to do.
Yeah.
Is like
it's a double-edged sword a little bit,
Uh-huh.
Because I think obviously, like they say, surround yourself with people who are going to bring you up to their level, whether it's in business or just in general. And in music, I think the same thing. You want to be playing with people who are going to push you and require a lot of you. But also, if you have any kind of level of self-doubt or insecurity about yourself, and I think it can be kind of a problem. Like I feel like that's been an issue for me, is like continuing to operate with the confidence of a young 20-something who's just like pumping out music, and
yeah,
it's scary to work with certain people, like specifically Sean, because he's always embraced me and always like really treated me like a peer. But Sean's also like, he was a wild performer, and he would do a lot of like spontaneous stuff, like be like, hey, you are here in the crowd, come up on stage and sing a song with me right now on the fly, like shoot from the hip and be impressive. And I would be at Sean's shows, go-go party shows or whatever shows he was doing, and like hide.
Yeah, like
literally hide.
Wear a mustache over your mustache.
And after the show, he'd be like, "Oh man, I didn't know you were here. Where were you? I would have had you up." And I was like, "I was hiding. I was hiding from you because I like am so scared to try and operate at your level." So I think it can be a double-edged sword. But yeah, where were we?
Well, so you said in that eulogy that you approached him about producing a record for you.
Yeah.
And he did. He started to?
No, it was more just like so I've been, as far as like writing, this is something I wanted to talk to you about and see if because do you write music at all?
Not in a long time.
Yeah.
I want to. I wish I had time for it.
Yeah.
And when I was young and had time for it,
right,
I wish I would have done a lot more of it.
Yeah, so this is a discovery that I've kind of started to make recently, is that during the most prolific time of writing music, I had a sort of writing process that made sense for my life. Like, I'd get like juiced up on caffeine and stay up really, really late at night and just hyper focus and crank music out, like still having to deal with procrastination and laziness, but like just there was nothing out, no external stuff. And then I think like when I got married and when we had our first kid, what I have needed to do since that time, which has been a long time, it's been 15 years, is build a new process for writing. And I've never really done it. I've never really been able to do it. So I've just been kind of on a trickle for the last 15 years of writing tunes. So I have a handful. I have a pretty fair amount of music that's written, and I'll put my jacket on. I'm freezing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got a bunch of material, but a lot of it now is a decade old, and it's never been released or recorded or anything like that. So there's always been a conversation amongst my musician friends, the players that I want to work with and stuff, about getting that stuff down and putting it out. And Sean was always like, let's do it. Sean was a Grammy Award-winning producer. He produced multiple Kirk Franklin records, and not just the plaque Grammy, like the actual statue Grammy.
Yeah.
He's like the real deal. And so that was always like the plan. And then we just never did it. Mm-hmm. And now he's gone. So, it's a bummer. I would love to have done that. I wish we had done that, but it's okay.
Do you have like any recordings of you guys playing your stuff together? Because what's crazy about technology these days,
right,
is you could probably, he could appear.
Yeah, no. Well, there's some live footage because anytime I've done, which is pretty rare, maybe once or twice a year, I'll just for the sake of my own sanity, I'll book a live show with a full band. It's all original music and just play a show just because I'm tired of playing what you call wallpaper gigs, which I've stolen that term. I use that term all the time now. I love that term.
I might have gotten it from you. Well, we might have come up with it together.
Really? The first time you said it, I was like, that's exactly what it is.
Maybe it was Matt Tedder then. Someone in that very first, when I started booking music and reaching out to people, somehow that term got thrown in there.
It's perfect.
Okay.
It makes complete sense immediately. I say it to people all the time and they know what I mean. And like,
right.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll do live shows from time to time, and anytime I could get Sean on those, I always would. Mm-hmm. And so there's lots of, clips and footage out there of us playing together, but probably nothing that can be cleaned up enough to be a release.
You might be surprised.
Yeah.
Even for like
honestly,
a solo break or something, if it just, sounded, I don't know. I'd say like keep an open mind, and you may find someone's got a good soundboard recording out there somewhere of just, oh, hey, I happen to capture this. I don't know. I
did a show. So usually when I do those live shows, I just hire Mark Lettieri's band to be my band because they're all
smart,
the best musicians in the world, and they can learn the tunes really easily. And we are all great friends and stuff. So one of the things we did was at the now defunct Independent Bar and Kitchen. Do you remember that in Deep Ellum?
No, I don't guess so.
Yeah, it was kind of short-lived. IBK is what they call it.
Yeah. I know where it is. Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like right in the middle of Deep Ellum. I think it used to be like the Internet Cafe back in the day or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did a couple shows with them, like Adrian Hulet shows there, and I'm pretty sure one of those is like fully filmed in HD and there's a board mix out there, and like, so, maybe someday I'll figure that out. But I do love watching all those clips and feeling all those feelings and stuff.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's nice I do it a lot because I know how it feels and I know how it sounds where I'm sitting. Mm-hmm. And it's cool to go, and even if it's a phone recording anymore, I think we've gotten more attuned to that. At this point, I can't tell if the quality's gotten better or if our ears have just...
Right, we just accept it.
Yeah, but I will watch them. If I get home after a show and someone's put like 20 songs up, I probably won't go to sleep until I've watched every one.
Yeah.
I'll relive the whole show.
I'm the same way. And it is really cool experience to hear it from front of house, which is not something that you get to do typically. Even when you're rehearsing with a band, like you're behind everybody.
Yeah.
And you're hearing like this amp on your right and this amp on your left, and you're hearing mostly your drums. But yeah, when you get to take it in the way that people take it in, it's really cool.
I got to experience this the other night because I've recorded on most of Daniel Markham's recordings, and he's been using a different drummer recently. And so I got to see basically our band because Ryan and I played a show with them, but he used the other drummer. And so not only another drummer who I really like, not only do I get to hear someone who I really like interpreting my parts and playing them the way he plays them, which was really cool, but also I got to sit out front and hear, two of my favorite guitar players to play with, Daniel and Ryan, doing their thing and going, this is such a different experience.
Right.
Not only in just the simple fact that I'm used to those things being in front of me, but I'm actually on the other side. I can see their hands. I can go, oh, he does that part.
Yeah.
Where probably pressed, I probably would have known, but music becomes like very visual to me or something, and everything
Yeah.
just is like kind of, I think, colors or something. And so it was when I'm playing it. So it's a really different thing to sit
Right.
and watch it. Daniel was playing a different guitar, and so it was maybe sticking out a little more too, and it was really loving.
Was it at the Cicada the other night?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
By the way, sorry I wasn't there.
I did not think anyone would be there, and I lobbied for all of us not being there because
really?
it was the Friday after the big snowstorm.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I went. You're talking about like insecurity and
Yeah.
things, and like I always go, oh, no one cares. We're the only people who care. No one's going to show up, even in a great town like Fort Worth, where we've always been embraced.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is asking too much of everybody. A couple people were dropping out. Someone asked me to. It was when the guy who put the show together, Luke from Depression Nap, was like, hey, our drummer can't come from Dallas. Will you play with us? That I was like, what if we just all didn't do it?
What if we just cancel it?
Yeah. And I played with them, and that was really fun.
Cool.
And I had a good time.
That's good.
And it was there were great vibes all around.
Yeah.
But I lobbied to. I was like, I don't want to be that guy. Mm-hmm. But here I am.
Well, I was laying. It was in our family calendar because we missed the last Dan show, which we were planning to come to, and
Right.
we had talked, and you were like, "I'll list you, come on out." But I missed that, and then I was laying in bed next to Hildy, and she was like, "Well, I hope that RTB2 show was good." Like, kind of snarky with me because I had been like, "Hey, we're gonna go to this," and I just totally, I just forgot.
Spaced.
Yeah, so I was like,
She was there the whole night fuming.
maybe, I don't know. She definitely let me know right then, so I was like, I'm sorry. So anyway, we, with her, RTB2 is really important for us.
Yeah.
Like, I think, because Hildy's 6 years younger than me, which now, mid 30s and early 40s is not really a big deal.
Right.
But when we first started dating, it was like a little scandalous. You know?
How old was she?
I think she was freshly 20 when we started dating.
No big deal.
Not a big deal. But, like, musically speaking, it was a more significant difference between us. We just didn't come up listening to the same stuff.
Yeah.
So there's some common things that, we love together that are like everyone loves, like Radiohead or something.
Yeah.
But as far as like, the underground stuff that the records that you collect and all that.
Things that define you.
Right. That define you. Ours are really kind of different.
That's cool.
So I was getting out of the like indie emo music, when all of it was like the Midwestern emo, cool finger picky guitar stuff. When that ended, I was like, I'm out. And she was just getting into it when everyone was starting to scream all the time. And I can't stand like any of that. So we don't have a lot of like these core, commonalities in our musical taste. And going to see you guys is like it's like a core thing for us, because I think, when we were first dating, we were just going to see you all the time. It seemed like either Oso or you guys or together. It was like every weekend we were seeing you.
I remember meeting her at Haley's. We were loading out, and I think we must have played together.
Yeah, probably.
And I remember, and this is like a funny memory, but I remember because it was like her and another girl, and I think we're the same age or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, man, Adrian is the nicest guy, because you brought these. I didn't know that you and Hildy were together, but you just showed up to me with two young girls and we're like, this is Grady from RTB2. And I was like, this guy is so nice. He just brings young girls. He's the singer of the other band, of the headlining band. And he just brings young girls to meet the drummer of the opening band.
Yeah.
But I remember her, and I think in that conversation, I figured out that you guys were together, but
I might have been just trying.
Who knows?
Which, just speaks to my level of game. I was like, hey, come meet these other dudes who are also doing what I do, but like are, I clearly think it's cooler than what I'm doing. So here. It took me a while to
land that?
to really reel that in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. She was, I mean, I got her now, but
Yeah.
it took a minute.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, good job.
I remember I was like 350 pounds during that time.
Yeah.
I was a very large
I do remember.
guy. So you really had to bring the personality game to a situation like
I'm
that.
focused in.
Yeah.
Are we doing the same thing
I
here?
gotta be
Yeah.
cool. I got to be funny. Not working with much else.
Singer of the band.
Singer
That's
of the
a
band
lot.
helps.
Goes a long way.
Singer of the band helped a lot. Yeah, I think.
Do you have like musical training
Nominally, yeah.
as a singer?
No.
Okay.
No, zero. That when I first I've sung for my whole life, and
Choir?
no, I was a band kid. I was a drumline kid.
Okay.
So I'll give you the points.
Hit me.
So when I was a kid, like 11 years old, maybe, my sister had you remember the buy 30 records for 1 penny Columbia House thing?
Yep.
That scam or whatever. But then you never had to pay for it, so their scam didn't work.
Yeah. Did we scam them?
I think we did.
Awesome.
Yeah. She had James Taylor Greatest Hits, Simon and Garfunkel Collected Works. Those 2 records, I learned to sing harmony on those 2 records because I listened to them literally thousands of times and just ended up singing harmony. So everything I know about singing vocal harmony is from doing that for several years. And then and at the time I was primarily a drummer. So a lot of times it was like this really cool thing if I was playing in a band because I could sing harmony.
Yeah.
And that's just like a cool little selling point. It's hard to find guys that can do that.
And I think when I saw you with Joey, you were doing that.
Yeah, big time. That was like a big part of any drumming gig that I had. I was always like, let me sing. I can sing. But then when I first got to Denton, there's this guy that I grew up with named Travis Williams. Shout out Travis. And he introduced me to like R&B music, like 90s R&B music. He was a musician at my church, and he showed me like Luther Vandross and stuff like that. So around 2001 or 2, I started listening to R&B radio all the time. And I kind of figured that I wanted to try to be able to sing with more body and try to riff a little bit. I've never been like a big acrobatic singer that can do all that stuff, but I can do a little bit of it. Primarily from driving in the car and like singing along and then hearing something I can't do and turning down the radio and just repeating it until I could do it, and then turning the song back up and then just keep going. So that's like my vocal training. So it's not probably good. I'm sure there's a lot of technique stuff that's bad for my voice or whatever.
Yeah. Well, it sounds good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then you did the normal like 6th grade. You tried out for drums. Did you do all that?
I actually started as a trumpet player.
Okay.
In beginner band. My older brother played trumpet, so I was just try to be
the old trumpet?
Try to be him.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we got maybe I got a cornet from the pawn shop or something. Anyway, so I did that, and then in 8th grade, which is the end of middle school, that's when you could be in jazz band, and I played drum set by then. I'd been playing at church, so I went to the band director and said, "Hey, I want to play drums in the jazz band," and I got the spot. And then as we were transitioning to high school, I approached the staff of the band and was like, "I really don't want to continue with trumpet. I'm a drummer. Clearly, I can play. Like, can we just switch me and I can join the drumline program?" And they were like, "Sure."
Really?
So yeah,
That's cool.
so I switched and I did learned all my rudiment stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So you could play, but you didn't have like chops, I guess, or what was your training at that point?
I think, well, at that point I was playing drums I think for that age pretty well, definitely in a standout kind of way amongst my peers. Like they were like, "Wow, Adrian can play." But I think maybe it's a long time ago. I haven't thought about this in forever, but I think that they did. Once I decided I was gonna switch, they quickly got me into some private lessons where I just learned some fundamental stuff. And then by the time I got to high school, I just kind of, could fake it till I made it or whatever. And eventually just played the little tiny bass drum.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the chops for snare drum, but I had enough chops that I didn't need to just go boom on a big.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I got the little tiny one where you could do all the little cool rudiments and stuff. And
Cool.
yeah.
And then are you like you mentioned the high school thing? Like, are you in a circle where you guys like are creating bands and doing
For
that
sure.
thing yet?
Yeah. All the kids at Grapevine, which is like Bryce Avery of the Rocket Summer. Mm-hmm. We were in the same graduating class at Grapevine, and there was just a whole crew of cool kids that wanted to be in bands. And so there's a million different iterations of week-long bands that happened. But then...
And you're always the drummer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at that point, I was just playing drums. And then right at the end of my senior year, I got a call from this guy named John LaMonica, and he had a band called My Space Coaster. I don't know if you remember this, a very long time ago. Mm-mm. This halfway Christian kind of indie rock band.
Okay.
That at the time I was like obsessed with, and their drummer quit or was fired. I don't remember, but he called me and asked me to join that band. And so I did. And we made a record, and did some touring right out of high school. Like I got, you get the graduation money, you get like a couple grand from all your parents' friends and stuff. Just went out and blew it immediately on gas.
Smart.
And just drove to Canada and ended the tour in Canada. 25-hour drive home,
Yeah.
Really, really killing it. And so that band actually ended really badly. Me and the guy I mentioned, we did not get along in the end. And so I quit, but I had been like touring for 3 months straight and had like just become a sloth of a person. Because I was just like living at night and sleeping all day. And I was living at my parents' house. I was like 19. And they were like, this isn't going to work. You should figure something out. And so I decided to come to UNT and go to school. So I came to school and I had a handful of friends that were from Grapevine that were going to be in the jazz program at the school. And so they were coming up, and they were all a year younger than me. So they were coming up and I was coming in at the same time. And so we got a little house together, and I dropped out of school in like one semester. But while I was there, I was living with Jay Jennings, who's now Snarky Puppy fame.
Trumpet?
Yeah. Trumpet player for Snarky Puppy, multi-Grammy Award winner, killing it out there. And so I just kind of had this in with the jazz program there. So I wasn't able to get into the music school at all, but I knew everybody. So that's when I sort of started working on building Oso Closo. I kind of handpicked all these players out of the jazz program who were, again, like at a way higher level than I was. And I was coming with just like tunes on piano that were close to finished or, needed jazzy voicings added to make them more interesting and stuff like that. And that's kind of how that came together.
And that's like kind of you and Chris McQueen seem to be sort of like from the outside looking in anyway, kind of the creative force.
Yeah,
there.
100%. Yeah. Chris and I hit it off immediately. As soon as we got to school, we bonded over like Weezer and some just like indie rock music. But he was like a full-on nerdy jazz player. Like his only guitar was this big hollow body, but he kind of had this background of some of the same stuff that I liked, and we just got to be good friends. And at the time I had been primarily a drummer forever, but I was living with Jay, and he's a trumpet player, but he could play piano really well, and he had a keyboard in his room, and I just kind of got into it, started monkeying around on piano. And so I kind of figured out this way of playing piano that wasn't necessarily full of theoretical knowledge, but good enough ears where I could be like, I want it to sound like this. And so I started writing songs. And then McQueen and I sort of got the idea that we should, put together a group and start playing out.
And that was like, this is past your moment of, I really like R&B music.
It's kind of amidst it. you know, really like R&B. Sorry, I keep coughing.
No, it's all right. Do you need something?
Oh, I've got a water here.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just
I have a cough drop.
raspy. Yeah, R&B, and then, you know, an unhealthy obsession with Queen, which I think is highly evident in the Oso Closo recordings.
Yeah.
But also just like certain kinds of musical movements very much influenced inadvertently by the Beatles, I think. Lots of walking down and walking up and things like that I didn't necessarily pick up straight from the Beatles, but I picked up from everybody who picked it up from the Beatles.
Sure.
And so really what it ended up sounding like was a lot of kind of this amalgam of like theatrical sounding music. I really like big, bombastic, over the top arrangement. I really like big left turns out of nowhere, like really surprising movements. So that just kind of became the formula for like the Oso sound, was just as big as possible, like as huge as possible, and then try to make it really interesting harmonically. And yeah, so we ended up with a lot of like 7.5 minute songs.
Yeah.
That not really built for radio, but it's a good band though.
It was great. It was so cool to know. So like, I think I was doing sound at Rubber Gloves, and I knew you from Big Ass Beer. Big Ass Beer was the open mic, but everyone would get a half hour.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And it was like, so I remember the deal was basically like from whatever it was, from 10 to 10:30, the stage is yours. Get set up. If it takes you 7 minutes to set up, I'm going to assume it takes you 7 minutes to tear down. So this was like just our hard ass, like get up there, get your stuff going, and play.
Yeah.
And get playing as fast as you can. And at 5 minutes till, or whatever, 7 minutes till, I'm going to tell you it's time. You're done. And I loved Joey, that it was like, you know, poppy, and then he just had songs, you know, and it was always like he was just, and it was constantly churning. It never seemed.
Yeah.
We had people who come in and do the same set every week. We had a little, like, I think every open mic has a bit of a community.
Yeah.
And we'd have people who come in and do the same thing, or we have guys who just come in and jam. And then, you know, Joey had songs. And you were a great drummer and a cool singer.
Yeah.
And you always seem to be kind of rotating. The bass player seemed to be like whoever. I don't ever remember that
there was
being
a couple.
solid, you know?
Yeah, Joey's such a tremendous songwriter, and kind of a little bit unsung. I mean, you know, he got married and had kids too, so it's not that he's doing a ton. I do think he's playing out, but the funny thing, in high school, I knew Joey and I knew he played, but he was like a terrible singer, really bad. I remember specifically him playing on campus in high school and me being like, good God, dude, that's bad. And so I didn't give any room to him. I'm just being completely honest with you. But then I heard this record he put out, and I believe John Congleton produced it from Paper Chase.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is totally different. Not only is he singing pretty well, his lyrics are unbelievable. Like, he's such a good writer, super clever. He's really kind of like a hip hop artist, but he doesn't do hip hop. But like, lyrically, it was just really impressive.
Yeah.
And I loved that it was kind of this chunky indie sound that was real natural for me to play drums on. And yeah, I think as we got older, his ability and his skill level and like originality just kind of skyrocketed. We were all just like idiots in high school.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I was in so many terrible bands.
Yeah, let's not be judged on that.
No.
On our output then.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
And so, is there some part of you that saw, like, this guy really churns out tunes, and that you start thinking, I could do that? Because again, I think I saw Oso Closo at Rubber Gloves. I was probably doing sound, and I didn't know the other guys. I just knew you.
Yeah.
And so maybe I had seen Andy Rogers play bass with like maybe a girl-fronted jazz, like a fusion kind of band. You might know who that was, but like, and then I see you guys. I was like, my guy's a drummer and you're playing piano and singing these songs. I liked your voice. I already knew I liked your voice because I heard you sing. But then like a really cool band, obviously, you know, like just all the players is like, man, these guys are loaded for bear. This is so killer. I like your songs. I like your voice. And then y'all also had a crowd. Mm-hmm. Y'all had, and it was like jazz school kids.
Yeah.
And I love that. Every time when someone's able to do that, I'll go like, because the rock scene in Denton can be kind of hard to break into.
Yeah.
There's a competitiveness, and I think there is in the jazz scene as well. But for some reason, when it's the jazz kids playing rock, there's this, everyone was real supportive.
Yeah, I think it was a breath of fresh air for the jazz school kids. Also, it was a little strategic. So like, as far as starting to write music, the best way I could describe it to you is that I like wrote a song and was like, sweet, I know how to write songs. And then I just started writing songs.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's probably a little arrogant, but it's kind of like if you watched so many movies, you're like, I can make movies. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that. Like just such a student of songwriting that I was like, I can probably do this. And then I started and was like, yep, I definitely can. But then I had the idea, because I was hanging out with all these jazz kids, that I really wanted to get like, because growing up, you know, being a drummer at school, in high school, in jazz band, you talk about the UNT jazz program. You talk about the 1 o'clock lab band, and that's like the pinnacle. Like if you could go do that, then you must be, you know, one of the best in the world or
Absolutely.
something. So I had this thought that I would just kind of try to tap that jazz program for some players, but like play rock. And that idea is also part of mine and McQueen's friendship, because we kind of talked about that. It's like, man, there's this whole sort of background that we have. And so what we did was we just kind of called a few people. We called Andy Rogers. We called Lindsay Miller, who is now killing it in Nashville, evidently.
Cool.
Just all over the place. Really happy for her. And we called Ryan Jacoby and,
drummer.
You know, the drummer. And it was cool because like that jazz school is like this tight-knit community, and McQueen at the time, I believe, was the 1 o'clock lab band guitar player, or maybe the 2 o'clock or something. But everybody in the band kind of had like a little bit of a name for themselves in the school ecosystem already. And then we booked our very first show in the lobby of Bruce Hall, which is the music school dorm.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, you know, we played one show to the entire music school, and they were all just like all in forever.
Yeah.
So the next show I think we did was at Andy's. Is that soon to be defunct?
Soon
Andy's?
to be defunct.
Man, that's sad.
I know.
That's really sad.
I've had some great times there and was planning on having some more.
Yeah, so many. I believe I met your wife at Andy's.
Yeah.
Did she work there?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, I was the door guy there, I think, when she first came to town.
Okay.
And
awesome.
we met, and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Also, like baller move rolling into town and immediately getting a job at like the cool music venue.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you do that?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know either. Props.
Same with bullshitting my way into being the sound guy at, you know, Rubber Gloves. You know, it's the same. You don't think of it. I didn't think it was anything strategic at the time, but it opened so many doors, and I have so many friendships.
Yeah.
Personal relationships based in that. Yeah. That I just was like, well.
I mean, and that's how it works too. It's funny because you like grow up like trying to be the cool high school kid who gets a job at half price books and just striking out. But like, if you know, you get older and you know people and you get those jobs that you thought were really cool. Actually, working the door at Andy was not cool at all. It was terrible.
Yeah. I did sound there too, and it sucked.
Well, I think working in a rock venue that's trying to have music every night is, you're just bound to see so many bad shows. Like so many.
That can be good though too. Because you start checking off boxes of like, that informed so much of like my drum sound, because I would see guys come in there with a beautiful, several $1,000
Right.
DW drum set that just looked immaculate. And then they didn't know how to tune it, and those things would ring forever.
Yeah.
And you're in charge of miking it up
Right, you're trying
and
to
making
deal
it
with
sound
that.
good and going, this sounds like shit.
Yeah.
And then you'd have a kid come in a punk band with the most beat up looking crappy
Tom, a
drums.
rock star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
And
like
then
whatever
with-
was in the garage.
with tape all over the heads, and then you mic those up and the drums just go like boom.
Yeah.
And you're
they
like,
sound
oh,
awesome.
awesome. And you're like, I had a little bass to that, and that thing just sings.
Yeah.
And so I've always been like,
That's cool.
yeah, like muffle it, get a cool sound out of it, muffle it, put a microphone on it, and every sound guy, and it's quieter,
Yeah.
and you don't have these real loud,
Right.
like another thing with like bright, I get cheaper cymbals sound worse.
Yep.
But like if you could find like mid-grade cymbals that were just a little darker. And so if you had, to me, things if they're like quieter, darker, they thump.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's like a big part. And all the time people are like, what's up with this kit? I'm like, it's cheap. I have a decent idea of how to tune.
Got it
Not
dialed in. Yeah.
Yeah, not good, but like
Yeah.
good enough. And like, are these tuned to pitches? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
There's
But-
definitely like a lot of positive. I don't mean to say it was terrible. I actually loved that time in my life just because I was so free. I mean, I was, operating in the scene that I was a part of, on multiple levels, playing live, but also like, being a part of one of the music venues that I love to be at, and all the people that worked there and stuff like that. And those are mostly all friendships that I still maintain to this day. And so, but you also do see a lot of terrible shows. And also I was a door guy, so I was constantly letting down college kids who were not old enough to drink or come in. I'm like, sorry, I know you're hot, but
Yeah. Did you also have to like settle up with the bands at the end of the night?
I did. That didn't go well in tiny rock clubs with no people in them.
A 4-band bill and no one there?
Right. Yeah. And then, however things are structured in the rock world, I always thought it was interesting the difference between the way that rock clubs handled their money and like country venues. Mm-hmm. Started playing drums for Rodney Parker at some point.
Yeah.
And did that for 2 or 3 years. And I remember us going and playing at like honky tonks to no people. And the bar would give us like a pile of money. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, where'd this come from? And they'd be like, it came from bar sales. We sell alcohol here. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, oh yeah, there were like 30 people drinking here.
Yeah.
But no one came to see us. And they're like, well, you're just the live entertainment. It's part of the overhead. Right. And I was like, this is brilliant.
I know.
Like, how come rock clubs aren't doing that? Which is just
two totally different models.
Very different models. And, I grew to really appreciate that world because I would go out with Rodney for a weekend and come home with like a few $100.
Yeah.
And be like, I can't believe this. At that point, I had made $0 playing music. Negative dollars.
Is that also before Oso Closo?
I think it was like slightly before and during.
Because Joey Kendall, his brother is Brooks Kendall, who played
Right.
bass in Rodney Parker's
And
band.
also grew up in the Grapevine Colleyville area. We knew each other.
Rodney too.
Rodney was there, but I actually didn't know him. Okay. I don't even know how. I think he was just a couple years older than me, and we never crossed paths. But in high school. But once I got to Denton, we became friends pretty quick. But I knew Brooks. And Brooks used to have a really cool band when we were in high school called the Suburban Jive Orchestra. And it was like this kind of halfway funky indie band. They were so cool. I thought Brooks was like the coolest guy alive when I was in high school.
He's still pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. He's the greatest. He's the greatest. Not to tangent, but they're reopening the Post in Fort Worth. Did you know about this?
Yeah, I've got a gig there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
And
man.
I'm in negotiations to have another.
I gotta get on that. I want to get over to the new spot. And
absolutely.
I'm sure I can.
I'm very excited.
Yes, that's very exciting news.
Big news for Fort Worth music.
Well, especially after the just barrage of closings last year.
Yeah.
It's just all at once. It seemed like it was really disheartening.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, as Fort Worth's or any town's stock rises, the things that made it cool get kind of priced out.
Yeah. That's definitely the case. There's also like kind of a interesting saga, I feel like, in the Fort Worth music scene, which is that like we're coming out of what I would call a really dry season in that regard, where there's just not a ton going on. And this is probably because I am old and I am not like completely in touch with what the young people are doing, but it's felt really dry over there for a while, where, you know, we have like a couple of bright spots. People will pop out and kind of do well. But as far as this like really tight knit, like, hey, there's 100 bands here and they're all kind of good, and like, it just doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's a losing battle.
Yeah.
In that town sometimes.
It's a great music town, and it has there's great audiences, there's support.
Yeah.
You know, I love it, but I understand what you mean. There's not, things will be going on, it'll kind of fall apart. Things will be going on.
Again, you know, maybe there's a lot more going on than I realize because, you know, different stage of life or whatever. But also I think just like in the general ethos, there's a lot less like live original bands happening. And there's a lot more like singular artists, digital artists. That's kind of the trend. You just don't, I mean, is rock and roll over? I don't.
People have been asking that since it started.
Right.
But
I don't think it's
probably
over.
not.
It's not over, and it's not going anywhere. But that used to be, I think, when we were coming up, that was like the focal point of live music, was to go see a live rock band.
Yeah.
You know, and so you'd be, if you were a musician, you're almost obligated to like get your instrument and get a group of guys and like do something, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's very different.
So back to like, you did that.
Yeah.
You got, you know, a bunch of jazz musicians. You guys are, you know, getting going with that. What's, that seemed to like gain steam pretty fast. Just like I said, it sort of seemed like y'all popped out of the box. It was ready to go.
Yeah.
And then it kind of becomes a touring thing, right? You always, seems like you always kind of had that in your mind of like, we're going to get this thing on the road.
I wanted to play the Super Bowl, dude. Like, and I was not quiet about it at all. I thought that band was the best band.
For sure.
And
I thought so too.
Yeah. I just really thought this is something really special. This is a perfect kind of stage of life. And this is also different than anything that's going on, but like really well received all the time. Every time we played, it was really well received. I rarely encountered somebody who was like, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just, I think you're young and naive and you don't really know what you're supposed to do. So just the model I always knew was like, get on the road and go try to build a fan base all over the country. I'd had a few friends that had done that and done that successfully. But I don't know, dude. I had my head in the clouds completely when it came to the like logistics and business of doing it. McQueen was like such a rock star, super organized person. And so he really handled it. And I was kind of an idea man for the group, which ultimately I think, you know, that worked in the beginning, but I think, you know, at some point, if someone's doing all the grunt legwork and someone else is just like, we should do this grandiose idea, it can probably get a little annoying. I'm not really sure, but
and it's hard to, I know from my own experience, when you're that person or when I'm that person, it is then hard when someone goes, well, can I help? It becomes hard to go, yeah, okay, well, it would help if you did this.
Right.
Once that is your job, it actually becomes a little tough to start trying to delegate it.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure.
And change your role or something. And so I know y'all did a couple records. And then And y'all did this really cool thing where y'all were the backing band for like a production of Tommy.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, y'all weren't like, were any of you guys Who fans?
Not really.
So,
Yeah.
and like, you can't, to me, when you're describing like big and like big turns, like, I am a Who fan.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, there's no better match. Whoever came up with the idea for that was genius.
Yeah.
Like, and then did y'all become Who fans?
I did for sure. I mean, I definitely like became an appreciator of what a badass rock band The Who was.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the whole spirit of it was
Oh,
just so rock and roll. The way that came to pass was somebody with the Dallas Theater Center approached Mike League, the band leader of Snarky Puppy,
Okay.
and asked him to like put together a band for this production of Tommy that they were going to do. And I don't know if he was too busy or if he didn't want to, but he was like, you could just call Oso Closo. Just call them.
That's his genius.
Yeah. He was like,
he's
just
a producer
yeah,
too,
he was
right?
like, just call them. They'll be perfect. And so, shouts to Mike for that, because that was one of the cooler experiences of my life. Still, I mean, just unbelievable. $500,000 production, just incredible experience all around. Just 2 months straight of just doing this show. So yeah, they came, and it's actually kind of great. The theater director, I can't remember his official title, but this guy Kevin Moriarty, he was the head of the theater over there in Dallas Theater Center, and he and a couple of other staff came to Andy's to see the band. And I knew they might come, but I wasn't sure. But like, I was smoking cigarettes on stage and like chugging beers and just being, smashing my piano with my chair.
Badass.
Yeah, just being a badass. And they were like, "This is perfect." In fact, they even got me fake cigarettes for the Tommy show.
Awesome.
They wanted me to smoke on stage, which is hilarious.
I love it. But not really smoke.
But not really smoke, because that wouldn't have been cool. But
Because was it kids? I never went to see it.
No. It was like, so Tommy is an album, and it's a theatrical musical, and it's a movie, and all three versions are different.
Right. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie. I've been to see a production of it, and I own the album.
Yeah, and so it's a concept album about deaf, dumb, and blind kid.
A rock opera?
Yeah, a rock opera. He happens to be a wizard at pinball, and at some point regains his ability to see and speak, and becomes a cult leader, basically, I think, is kind of the general thing. I guess that was my takeaway. And so it was really cool because the Theater Center had the idea to kind of make an amalgam of all the different versions of it.
Okay.
So it gave us a ton of freedom with the music. I mean, we generally had to stick to forms, but stylistically, they were cool with whatever. And a lot of the singers that were in the show, like the chorus people, were like South Dallas, just badass, like R&B church singers. And so we got to mess around with like grooves and stuff that would not really read as The Who, but it worked because we had these insane singers and stuff. That's another show actually where I did the whole show on stage, not ever seeing it, but then like somebody, I don't want to say who, secretly filmed it, which is like a big time no, you're not supposed to do that. But I've gotten to watch it, and like I'm like, oh, this is so much cooler than I even realized. Because
I want to see it.
I've got a secret YouTube link that's not
perfect.
public. I'll
I'm
send
ready.
it to you. It's like a camcorder in the back with a towel over it, and so like part of the screen is obscured, but like you get the idea. Whenever I got a hold of it, I reached out to a bunch of the cast, including like Betsy Wolfe, who's like a big Broadway star now. And I was like, hey, long time no speak. How you doing? She was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I was like, hey, do you want to watch Tommy? And she was like, oh my gosh, how'd you get this? And so anyway, Grady, do you mind if we pause and
No, let's break. Do you drink alcohol?
I do not.
Okay. I don't either.
Okay.
And so it's like I've gotten to a point where I can cut things out of my life and out of my diet, and then I can see the positive effects of it.
Right, yeah.
And like coffee is just over there like, hey, and I'm like, oh,
there's no way.
Not you, buddy.
There's no way there's a positive to that. I just don't. There's no way.
I can't. Yeah. We sound
I just don't know. I don't know. I would have to get through so many headaches.
Right.
Well, not drinking alcohol is relatively new. I haven't had a drink in 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
So, or maybe even I haven't been keeping track. It's not like a.
Yeah.
It's not like a. There's my date or whatever. It just.
Do you know what your date is though?
I can't. I could look it up.
Yeah.
I know when the last time I drank was.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
And you were like, this is it?
I was like, let's just hit the brakes.
Are you done?
Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I'm not. I don't.
I'm not
don't
cracking
think
a
it's
beer,
a great,
by the way.
Yeah. It's just a Coke Zero, another of life's great pleasures.
Do you want one?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Will you go get him a Coke Zero?
Where's the guy that does that?
Where's the producer?
You don't have to. I have this water. I'm okay. All right.
You see how excited he got?
I did get excited. No, yeah, I just I don't really want to. I don't know. I don't really like feel the need to plant any flags in the ground.
Yeah, I understand.
My presence of mind with my family and children have greatly increased with the elimination of alcohol specifically.
You look well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so for now.
I've been sober for 3.5 years.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, man. That's great.
And I know my date, but I didn't intend to, but I just happened to know it was like July 3rd, 2021.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm coming up on 4 years and, or, in 6 months.
Sure,
or so.
yeah.
But, I like it. And I enjoy life without it a lot. I did not think I was going to be fully done with it, but,
I appreciate you so much.
thank you,
sir.
Ryan. Thanks to our producer.
For this Coke Zero. Right in front of the mic, just for all you listeners.
Unofficial sponsor of I Was in That Band, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm for it. I was curious about that with you. I don't know. Somehow I figured that was like because I just via Facebook or whatever, like I was witness to your weight loss thing, and I know there is this ability, like I can make changes in my life that will greatly affect me, and
yeah. I mean, it's I think when it with whether it's weight or food or booze or really anything, I think I'm just one of those people that's built to I joke around if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right.
Seriously.
Yeah. Including drinking. I'm not a cocktail to take the edge off at the end of the day kind of guy. I just never have been. I think that's probably actually a lot from growing up in the world that we live in. You're just constantly in bars, constantly around opportunities to drink, and it's just part of the culture, and there's nothing
compensation.
Yeah,
if you're a door guy
oftentimes,
or a band member, it's like, oh yeah, and you get
free drinks, and so
you'd be dumb not to take them up on it,
right? Yeah, but just for me, that's just a degenerative problem where obviously I have enough wherewithal to be like, well, I better tighten up. But then, it's just like any discipline, it just fades.
That's the
and then eventually it's like, man, I just drink all the time.
Yeah.
And it's affecting my marriage, and it's affecting my attitude, and it's affecting my energy, and it's affecting everything, my finances, whatever. And it's like, this is so stupid. So anyway, yeah, for now, for the foreseeable future, it's just, I really started to enjoy not. And it's pretty rare that I'm like, man, this would be a perfect time to have a drink.
Man, I had one the other day, or I had that thought the other day. I was just I was telling Brian about it, but like on a Sunday after a couple good shows and just on a Sunday, I think my serotonin levels were just drained.
Yeah.
And I had that. I was like, man, if that was an option right now,
Yeah.
I'd be all about it. Mm-hmm. And then you start thinking of like, what else can I do that's bad? You know, like,
Right.
you know, I want a Slurpee maybe, you know, or something.
Yeah,
like
I will say that my desire to have sweet things is crazy now.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like when I did my massive weight loss journey, I pretty much gave up sugar. Like
Right.
I just don't have sweet things like ever. And since stopping drinking, it's like I'll like straight up just buy a candy bar while I'm getting gas and just like chow down on a Snickers and be like, this is so bizarre to me. I don't do that. Like I don't eat candy ever. So now it's like, okay, well now I have obviously my body is just like, do bad stuff to yourself. You have, I don't know. But it's going real well and I'm really enjoying the evenings with my family more. Yeah. Because I feel like that was just like my routine. I've been like aside from playing music, I've been doing like blue collar trade work forever. Like for my entire adult life, I've worked construction or I've been a carpenter or now I'm pressure washing. And like, there is nothing that you can do in life that will tell you more like you deserve a tequila soda at the end of the day than like building something or, working outside and sweating. And so I got into a routine of kind of always doing that and then like excessively. Mm-hmm. And then I had a moment not that long ago, sort of at the beginning of this, where my two oldest kids, who are 12 and 11, we were sitting at the table having dinner, but then they started telling some story and the story involved some stupid dance and they both got up and they were just being really silly, like just super silly and cracking each other up and not fighting. And it was just this cool, my brain stepped outside my body and just looked over the whole scene with my entire family in the dining room, hanging out, my two oldest getting along and being really silly. And I was like, man, I'm so glad that I'm not like halfway buzzed through this experience because this is like, I feel this is a core thing that's going to stick.
Yeah.
And when I have those moments, I'm like, okay, this is definitely the move. Like just be clear-headed for the most part. I mean, there's still fun things you can do in life.
No doubt. Becoming more and more available.
Indeed.
So, or,
yes.
Not in Texas, but
well, I mean, they got those workarounds.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. I found plenty of ways to be bad.
Sure.
That are, and I feel way less bad. And
they're not dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's really the kind of the big thing is there's just no real like danger there. Whereas like, I feel like drinking, it doesn't take long before I'm like, I don't need you to drive me.
I know. I
can do that.
Yeah.
And that's just, that's
I'm an old pro at this.
Right. Yeah. You know how long I've been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear. Congratulations on 3.5 years. That's amazing.
Back at you, man.
Yeah.
Like I think like 6 months for me was real. That was a moment of like, okay, I know I can make it a year. And I still wasn't sure what I was going to do when I made it a year. Mm-hmm. Part of me was like, I'm going to go to a bar and celebrate.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the day came and I didn't do it.
Yeah. It's weird. Let me just see how candid I want to be with you. This came up before in life where I really was like concerned that I was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. And at the time I like went to meetings and stuff.
Okay.
And while I was there, I really dove into the literature and to the culture of that. And I kind of determined through the process that like, I'm not an alcoholic. In fact, there's there's categories in there, in the AA Blue Book. I don't know if you've ever read any of that or if you do any of that stuff, but there's a category of heavy drinker, not an alcoholic, someone given the sufficient given a sufficient reason, could stop drinking. But when they drink, they like to drink heavily, and occasionally bad stuff happens.
Is that you?
Oh, that's totally me.
Okay.
It's like when I drink, I like to drink a lot, and once in a while I'll do something really stupid. Like, just stupid stuff that's destructive. So quitting has not been very challenging. I don't feel like while I was going to meetings, I did like a month, I think, 30 days. And I remember when I got they give you a coin or like 30
Chip.
days. Yeah, my chip. And somebody said like, man, hardest 30 days of your life, right? And I was like, no, not at all. It was fine.
I played rock and roll on the road, man.
Right. Yeah. It was like, no, this wasn't a big deal at all. So I don't feel, I think it's just like anything else. I just don't enjoy a moderate level of that. Like
Same.
it's just not enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
To do it moderately. So it's not a big goal of mine to operate in a moderate way with that. It's better if I just skip it.
Right.
So
I identified with what you said of like, I could create, I just have bad habits.
Yeah.
And so I would just go,
Right.
okay, yeah. All right, well, I'll just create this boundary for myself. And that will constantly break it. And then constantly get back to where I didn't want to be. And then reset.
right.
And then do it again and reset. And
yeah, and it was like, how many times are you going to let yourself down or, show yourself to not have the level of character to stick to your boundaries before you start to kind of dislike yourself? Because you're like, I'm a joker, dude. I can't. So it's just easier to have the boundaries like, this just isn't part of my life.
Yeah.
And so far, so good, dude.
Good.
Like, yeah.
Awesome. I love to hear it. Like I said, I don't know why there was something in me thinking about meeting with you today that was like, I wonder if Adrian drinks anymore. And there was something about
It's
it.
interesting that you would have that independently because it is relatively new, and I've always been a guy that you've probably seen drinking.
Sure.
I mean,
I was right there with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had some good times.
Indeed.
Well, okay. So I'm super curious about Oso Closo and like how that went down, like how that fell apart.
Oh, how it ended?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 records, like I said, from my perspective, and I think at the time when you and I were probably the closest, it seemed like you and y'all had gotten Danny Garcia in the band.
Yeah.
And Andy, y'all were all living in the same house in Denton, right?
Yeah, almost all of us.
With Hank Hurley,
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
And so
And Rex.
Rex was living there too.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a unusually large rental house.
Yeah.
It was like 3,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And Andy and Rachel had the back of the house. And then myself and Hank. It's so weird to
He's
call
Hillary,
him.
but
It's really
yeah.
hard to call him Hank.
Yeah.
Even though I get it. But Hillary early. And Rex. And at one point McQueen was there, but he moved out quick because he didn't want to live with all of us.
Hard to fault him there.
Totally understand. The time we were like smoking cigarettes in the house and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just like
It was a wild place.
wild place. Yeah. Yeah, because you guys were all over all the time.
I've seen the sun come up in that,
Oh, yeah.
in that house a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, then Danny moved in, I think, at some point. I can't remember.
And he was in the band. I don't know. I never knew, I guess, what happened, like why Lindsay left or what. But
Lindsay, I think officially Lindsay quit. I think Lindsay was broadcasting that she was not happy traveling in a minivan around the country with 4 dudes who smoke cigarettes and smoke joints in the van all day long. So she was getting pretty unhappy. And then I think we had kind of like McQueen and I were like, maybe we should part ways. And I went to just kind of chat with her about it. And she quit. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
No problem. Love you. But, I love her to death to this day. She's awesome. And such a good player and just a sweet person. But, and
to me, I liked it that there was a girl in the band too.
I think everybody liked that. They thought it was a cool vibe, and she was like a shredder.
Right.
So it was like, this is unusual.
It didn't seem token. It wasn't like you just put some girl in the band, but it was like, yeah, because all you guys were great and she fit in perfectly.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, I just like that.
I love the Lindsay days. Those were fun. Yeah.
So enter Danny.
Yeah. So Danny, I think, I can't remember exactly how the conversation started, but McQueen wanted to tap Danny. They had met, I think, because of Andrew Tinker. Do you remember Andrew Tinker?
I do.
Yeah, the Good Nights.
Absolutely.
Those are all the Flower Mound music scene kids that, you know, were doing the same thing the Grapevine kids were doing, but they were doing it in Flower Mound. They all had bands and stuff. And so I think Danny was really, he was playing with Good Nights, and I think the Goodnights hired McQueen a couple of times to play guitar with them, and they got connected. Anyway, Danny's got this massive personality. You know, he's, for better or worse, he's like a big personality.
Oh, yeah.
And a talented guy. So we tapped him, and he joined the band, and I joke with him, halfway joke with him, he broke up the band.
That's what it seemed like for me.
That's what happened. He even said, it's kind of funny in retrospect, he said coming in, he was like, yes, I'm going to join this band, but I'm going to steal McQueen and I'm going to start my own band. And we all laughed. Mm-hmm. But that's basically what he did.
Yeah. He set it out. He set out to do.
But I can't lay it all on Danny. Some of it was that dynamic I was talking about to you earlier about, you know, what our roles were. Mm-hmm. McQueen is a really high achieving individual. Obviously just his skill level alone would tell you that, but he is, he's kind of one of those both sides of the brain type of people where he's really creative and brilliant, but he's also like got his shit together
And very driven.
Yeah. And so, and I was just like only creative, and otherwise pretty lazy. So there was like a tension between McQueen and I towards the end around him feeling like I was a diva, I think. And he had some basis for that feeling, I think. So it was already like a little bit tense between us. And then I think Danny was really wanting to start a separate project as well, and was kind of tapping McQueen for that. And so at some point or another, what's that Ben Folds line? The band broke up in May and then in June reformed without me, and they got a different name. It's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Like the band broke up and then everyone in the band except for me started a new band.
Yeah.
So that was hard. It
course.
sucked. It hurt my feelings.
It seemed like that. Or it seemed like it would be weird if it didn't.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yeah.
And it's funny to think about now because we're so far out, and my relationships with all the guys are great, you know, including McQueen. In fact, McQueen comes and plays guitar with Dad Rock, my cover band, pretty frequently. And I think our relationship is awesome, but you know, you're young and everything is such a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, and like, this is like what we're doing with our lives. And I don't know, bands break up. Mm-hmm. It just kind of happens.
I mean, you mentioned, I guess, whatever. McQueen thought you were a diva. Do you think, I mean, was your ego like gigantic, or, I mean,
I think I needed to make some adjustments. Yeah. I think I did have a little bit of a, like, everyone do for me kind of attitude. It wasn't like malicious. I wasn't like thinking any less of any other people, but I do think like I have learned and continue to learn more personal responsibility and drivenness and stuff. And I think at the time I was just kind of like, this is great. I could just make music with my best friends. And then this guy over here will like book shows and organize things. And like, I don't really have to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm totally cool with that. I'm going to go smoke a bowl or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And, I just think we were young. We were just really young. I always kind of think that if there was just a couple different circumstances, like if we were a little more grown up, particularly me, that band would probably have understood in the moment that you shouldn't break up a band. You should just stop playing.
Yeah.
Because then you can play later. And, And we probably could have continued. But, c'est la vie. It's all right.
Do you ever get like a random email or Facebook message with someone
Totally.
being like, would you reform for this occasion and I would pay you a number with this many zeros on it, like at the end?
A couple times a year, but never with the big numbers. Just like hey man, any chance you guys would come play? It's like, I don't know, you want to buy plane tickets for everybody? We live all over the country now. But I actually think everybody in the band would be down to play.
Yeah.
If it worked. But, Jacoby's in Chicago now, and McQueen's in Austin. Andy is here, but he is killing it with the Wilder Blue and is like fully invested, which that band is so good.
I know. Oh, he's got a knack, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know about the Wilder Blue, go listen to that band.
Yeah.
It's so stinking good.
Yeah.
It makes me pissed off.
Well, Andy is someone who I've had a lot of experiences with and who I absolutely love. And he is one of those people who I think, but Hillary, Hank Early said it to me and it really makes sense. It's like, try to find a musical situation to put him in that he wouldn't immediately make better.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's Andy.
Key. He's key to anything that he's a part of. And also like a really unusual level of how would I describe it? He's not a person you can get worked up very easily.
Right.
In a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen people like on the road or something, some drunk person like acting in a way that would cause me to like ball up my fists and want to get in a fight. And Andy will just be like, what are you talking about? Like, he's just so chill.
Yeah.
And he always has been, and everything is funny. And, he's just like the best. I love that guy. And he's one of the most talented human beings I've ever met, for sure. On any instrument, just no problem. Just, he can sing so high.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's like when the bass player also has the highest voice.
Man,
it's like, that's so cool. You're featured on both ends of the spectrum.
Covering it all, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that was like a huge part of Oso too, was live vocals was
a
really big deal. And
so killer.
That's something that's kind of hard to pin down now, I've found. Like,
me too, brother.
Like I wanna tap certain players to play with me, but like most of them don't do that.
They're
don't
players,
sing.
not singers.
And it's really like, that's such a, if you're out there and you're trying to be like a valuable asset to somebody, play your instrument, but also like sing harmony. If you can do that, it is such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's in the dream situation for a new band or whatever, is definitely like everyone can sing.
Yeah.
I love it because I think that's what the Wilder Blue kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like a working stiff, and then you got what's his name?
Zane?
Yeah, you got Zane who's doing, the Zane show, and then they all kind of went, why don't we just start a band that we all like is a passion project?
Yeah.
And we'll make sure everyone can sing their asses off.
Yeah.
And it's turned into such a cool thing, and I love it.
I do too.
Yeah.
There too. That's I like the things you mentioned earlier, Queen, the Beatles, like the band, I love the band. It's like when you have a group of people and at least have a nucleus where you can kind of pass around those duties, even when it's, if it's just the lead singer or obviously the Wilder Blue would bring like the Eagles comparison or something like that. But I love those bands.
I do too. I think vocal harmony is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Like just in general. I love it.
So I remember seeing you play solo. I think it was probably the first time I ever saw you play guitar.
Oh yeah.
Was at Haley's, and there was some show. I don't remember, but I remember being in the audience, so I don't remember if I was playing or if I assume I was playing.
Probably.
But I remember you being there. Oso Closo had broken up. And I was worried about seeing you solo. I was worried about it. I did not know how that was going to go. And then you sang some new songs. You know what? I had seen you play guitar. Take that back. Because we'd be jamming at your house. At that house right. We talked about late night.
Yeah.
And you would play tunes. And I remember that. I remember one in particular I still hear you play occasionally that I love.
Cool.
And watching you play solo and being like, okay, he's going to be fine.
He's going to be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew it.
I'll take it, man.
Even JC was doing sound, and like he's also just a great person to like bounce something off of, like critically or whatever. And I remember walking back to the booth and being like, fucking Adrian, He's like, yeah, we were both just like, he's gonna land on his feet,
dude. Thank you.
Well,
that means a lot. I honestly I kind of need to hear that. I don't know exactly what my place in the world musically is at this stage. I mean, there's a million factors like we've talked about, like stage of life, and I have 4 children and a lot of responsibilities, but also like it's been a challenge for me to imagine how anything should happen alone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I've always been a collaborator.
Yeah.
For anything that I've actually gotten out there, Yeah.
So you kind of feel like you need that.
It's a little bit of a crutch, I think. Like, I've got 100 songs that are 2/3 of the way done. And I'm like, if I just had a Chris McQueen right here to just finish this song for me, that would be so nice.
Have you talked to him about it?
I have, and Mark and I work together, and sometimes I just hunker down and do it and finish it. But yeah, I just think one of the things I love about collaborating, and it's not necessarily like this insecure crutch thing, is that I really love being in a situation where somebody plays an idea or brings forth an idea and somebody else is there to go, yep, that's it, let's go. Mm-hmm. Because I love being that person to affirm that in a writing partner, but I also love having somebody to do that for me. Because if I come up with something and I'm not sure, just all it takes is somebody going, no, that's dope, let's do that. And it's like, okay, let's move on. I love that.
That goes back to what you're saying about Sean.
Yeah.
And like have you ever taught lessons?
I tried one time. I think I covered a shift at a school of rock, and I was like, never going to do this again.
So, but like when I have a lot, and when you see, it's nice to be that person who's not, who might be the like weakest link in a band, because when someone goes, you can do this, and that's sort of what, when you're teaching lessons, that's sort of always who you are, is you going, I know you. I know everything about what you can do musically. Like, right. I know you inside and out, to this little person or whatever, this kid or this adult or whoever, and you go, you can do this. And it's that same experience when you're in a band with people. They have this, great ability. I've played with some people who are so brilliant. Yeah. And then when they go, you can do this, dude.
Yeah.
You go, all right.
Yeah.
The first time someone was like, yeah, this section of this song, it goes like, it's like 3 measures of 5 and then a measure of 7 and then 3 more. I was like, what are you talking about?
Huh?
Yeah. I can't. And I was like, I can't do that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. Just count.
Yeah.
You can do it.
You can do this.
Yeah.
Andy LaViolet did that for me. Was like, cool. You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do this. This is how it's going to go. And then we did it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so, and I think that's what other people see in you when they're like, just get up here and let's have some fun.
Right.
And let's do something.
They're saying you can do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not really sure I can. Yeah. In that, I don't know if it was in that eulogy I wrote of Sean or if it was in the post previous to that, but I posted a clip of us playing together. It was a Adrian Hulet original show. We were doing a cover, and the story of the song is that it's a Leanne LaHava song, and it's just got this open-ended thing where we can just let the band like jam basically as long as they want to. Really simple little thing, and so naturally that happened in the show. But anytime you're the front man of a situation like that, it's like, okay, this is going to come back around to you at the end, and you're going to need to, because this is the Adrian Hulet show, so you're going to need to like not only show out one more time, but you're kind of going to need to be at the level that everyone just displayed, which is just impossible.
Right.
And so I experienced that, and I cut the video short, basically, that I posted because I didn't want anybody to hear what I tried to do at the end. I told the story to honor Sean, but I also I just was like, nah, we'll leave that part out, because I felt like I didn't come correct in the way. But that's a real thing that I kind of have to battle with, because there's an assumption, I think sometimes, because a lot of the people in the scene, particularly in the Dallas like R&B gospel scene, they know me from working with Sean, or they know me from working with Oso Closo, or they know me from working like with these high level musicians.
And Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
They know there's an assumption that I am like a virtuoso at what I do, and I'm really not, at any instrument. So I've had situations where it's been like, oh, come on, like I've seen Oso, come on and play keys, take a solo. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know how to play like at all.
Yeah.
And I do in my own way, in my own, like I can write songs because I understand harmony and I like the way it sounds, but I don't know what I'm doing. And so I've kind of had to like figure that out, and also just like incrementally learn more and get better.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny caveat I have to share with people sometimes when we're going to play together. I'm like, I'll show somebody a tune, like a player is going to come play keys for me, and they'll be like, what's the chord there? And I'll be like, ask Mark. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's my fingers go here. Otherwise, that's all I got for you. Don't know. And they'll be like, huh? That's weird. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I just was not a diligent enough student to learn the hard parts. I just like to do it.
Yeah.
So,
well, to me, like you are a virtuoso. You have this incredible voice, and then you've got songs. Yeah. Like to be able, when that whole thing with Oso Closo went down, and I knew, I don't know if I knew exactly what was going to happen or whatever, but like when those guys formed the other thing, when they Foe Destroyer, I was like, okay, well, let's see, because I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I like all those guys as well, and they're incredibly talented, but I was like, without songs, you got nothing, guys. I'm sorry. And I'm not like, I gave it we played shows with them. I'm just like, I'm sorry, but without that guy, and I'm pointing at you.
Yeah.
Like you don't have it. Like I hate to be the person to break that to you. And I think a lot of people, there can be these things in bands where you can start to resent that person. I read Keith Richards' book Life, and he talks about that. He's like, it got so hard to look at Mick Jagger and go, we've had so much success together with our partnership. Why is it that every time I try to step out, it doesn't do as well, and every time you try to step out, it doesn't do as well, and you start to look at that person and resent them.
Yeah.
Like for that, and
that's
I
interesting.
think that seems like that's what happened, was that those guys were like, maybe this person's a diva or whatever, and maybe we could just do this without him. But I ultimately think they found out they can't, or I don't know. I'm not. Everything failed at the end. Oso Closo failed. This other thing failed. Think bands break up, like you said. So it's not.
Gosh, that's murky water. I don't want to.
I understand.
I don't want to overexpress any vindication I might feel from that band not being as good as Oso Closo, but that band wasn't as good as Oso Closo.
Sure.
That's just is what it is.
It is.
And it doesn't really matter. Again, we're all young and everybody's just doing creative things, and personalities grow and change. I'm very grateful that my relationships with those people are good.
Yeah.
And that is really all that matters to me at this point.
Yeah.
Fact, that is like, if I have a religion, I think that it is rooted in the cultivation of friendships and relationships. And I have like actual sort of mental doctrine about this. I kind of I try to think of like life as an orchard of trees. And every time you form a new relationship, you plant a tree. And sometimes those trees need a lot of care and attention to grow and thrive. And sometimes those trees just naturally sprout up and they are strong. But like my goal in life is just to have the biggest, most beautiful orchard that I can have by the time I die. And so, you know, for all of the things that have gone down with different projects or whatever, like that is really the primary thing for me is like whenever I felt like the beef, if you could call it that, between me and McQueen was over and that we were just sharing life again, even if it was like less close. And, but that was like the victory over that whole thing for me. So I don't, you know, but I do, yeah. At the time, I remember getting comments like that from folks like, hey man, what the hell is this new thing? Which wasn't bad. It just wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
I thought that Oso was really special.
It was.
So, and that made me feel like, yeah. But
Of
I
course.
don't, you know.
Was so like from your perspective, even though like Danny was like the other woman in this scenario, like
Yeah.
the biggest dagger comes from McQueen,
Well,
like your musical collaborator.
yeah, I don't even know if I would. At the time, it felt that way.
Sure.
At the time, actually, it's kind of funny now, but it happened sort of suddenly, so we didn't really make a lot of hubbub about it publicly. It just we kind of announced it at our last show, like, hey, this is it. And so then there was a trickle out into the media a little bit, and I remember I got a call from Preston Jones just asking me what's the deal, and I just kind of gave him this really diplomatic answer, like, you know, people grow apart, blah blah blah. I think our roles in the group, you know, have changed over time, and like some people weren't happy, but you know, we care about each other and we're all good friends and blah blah blah. And then he put out this article, and that was my quote, and McQueen's quote was like, Adrian doesn't do anything. And I was like, are you serious? Like, bro, you know, you're one of my best friends. It just kind of railroaded me like hard in the paper.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it's like, so if Preston had been like, well, McQueen said this, do you think you might have said something a little less
I probably
diplomatic?
still would have been diplomatic, but I would have called him and been like, hey, what the hell? You know, like,
Change
but-
this.
But even in the moment, I think that McQueen, you know, we were just so young and inexperienced. And I think he even was like, oh, you know, I didn't really think about the fact that this is going into print, and that I just kind of, but maybe he was like that over it with me at that time. But that, when you say dagger, that one was a little bit of a dagger.
Yeah.
That hurt. Even though he was probably kind of right, it just felt like, you know, I think for the body of work that we've put together and the things that we've been able to accomplish, that a little bit more consideration is probably in order. You know, we've done some beautiful things together.
Yeah.
And like lived a lot of life. But, you know, that's ancient history.
Yeah. Water under the bridge at this point.
Definitely. I mean, we're talking about, you know, experiences raising children now, and, you know, McQueen and Erin, who I call Tiny because she's tiny.
She is.
They have twins, which is like every time I talk to them, I'm just like, tell me more twin stuff, because it's just,
Yeah. Fascinating.
I've had two sets of kids real close together, but I've never had twins. And that just seems like so crazy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, yeah, it was a bit of a dagger. But we're good now, and I don't really talk to Danny too much. Danny's always on some coast, always doing something.
Yeah.
We chat a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I feel like all those relationships are solid, which is That's definitely the most important thing. And there's so much more to do musically now,
Yeah.
which is really kind of what I would like this year to be about.
I'm here for it.
Well, I haven't played one wallpaper gig yet. And in 2024, I said aloud a few times that a dream would be to not do one for all of 2025.
Whoa. All right.
It's probably not going to happen. At some point, I'm going to be like,
Yes.
no, I need money. And this is really easy way to get it.
Yeah.
And also I have, regular gigs at places where people, will just say like, hey, once a month through the year. And I'm like, yeah. And it's just there. So I'll probably end up doing them, but I am really ready to shift gears into making original music with, the folks that I really want to do, putting out a record, like just the stuff that I've been saying while I've been raising all these small children and just not able to. Mm-hmm. It's like kind of shit or get off the pot.
You never let it go.
No, certainly
and so
not.
that's that says something, that because there's probably plenty of times where it would have been, if things had gotten too tough, or that would have been the easiest thing to, just let that go and let that balloon fly into the air.
I don't think I can. In fact, the whole purpose of starting the business that I own now was just to try and create a financial route to do what I actually want to be doing.
Well, there you are.
Yeah.
Like you got it.
That's the purpose.
Yeah.
And everybody involved knows that. They're like, Adrian's priority is making music.
Yeah.
So everything else, every late night pressure washing a parking lot or whatever, is to serve that.
Yeah. Well, and then with your newly clear mind.
Yeah, that helps. For sure.
Do it, man. I think everybody wants that. Everybody who knows that, or who knows you, wants something new, and it'd be a great way to honor Sean, and you have fans.
I appreciate you saying that, man.
People who want it.
A couple of people have people that I respect have said something like that to me, candidly have been like, hey, there's a contingent of folks out there that want this.
Yeah.
Want this thing that you keep talking about and not doing. And so, that's probably a direct quote from Hildy, from my wife.
Yeah.
She's like, there's folks out there that want it. But I get that sense, and I really appreciate that even after all this time, that still seems like an appealing idea to some folks outside of me. You know?
I think you just got to do it.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, keep tending the orchard. I'm glad to be a part of it, man.
Man, I'm so glad you're part of it. We were talking this morning before I left the house just about how much we love you, and just what a cool part of our lives you and Ryan have been, not just from the musical side, but just on a relational level. It's very... It seems like fair weather friend sounds like a negative term, but it's not to me. To me, it's like, no, I just know that in the event that I run across Grady, I'm going to be like, hey, and it's going to be as though no time has passed whatsoever.
Yeah, we pick up easily.
Very easily.
And this is, other than, this seems like the first time in a long time we've gotten together where it wasn't one of us performing.
No,
both of us.
Yeah, almost always. Yeah. It's always kind of brief, but yeah, this is nice to get to do this with you, man.
And then, but I'm similar to what you said, and I was wondering if you were going to say it in that, orchard thing, was the connections that you make with people, that I make with people in music, are deep.
Yeah.
And when I identify with someone's music and we become friends, it feels to me like it has this extra, because I know you and because I know your music, I know something about you that maybe someone in your family doesn't know. If they have not, gotten in deep with that, with your music and stuff.
I haven't thought of it in those terms, with my orchard analogy, but that's kind of the beautiful thing about that analogy, is that it works on so many levels. I think about it all the time, actually. I think about like pruning trees away and how, something's dying and like whether or not I even want to try to salvage it. And I think about, interwoven roots and branches and all those kinds of ideas. And yeah, I love that idea, and I love that connection that you're talking about, where not only are you personally, in relationship with somebody, but also like you have a relationship with their art. Mm-hmm. And you understand something deeper about them because of that.
Yeah.
And it fortifies, it gets you through like those long stints of not seeing them,
You mentioned like manual labor and stuff. And like when I've done not a lot of that, but when you've been through experiences like that, hard work with people too, you tend to kind of have some bond with them too.
Yeah, whether it's trauma bond or what.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure.
I've been through enough jobs like that where when I see those people out in the wild, or when we're, dropping kids off at school, I'm like, I know you.
Yeah.
Like I've been there. I've been there with you.
Well, and you and Ryan have always made me feel like a peer, like a respected peer in your community. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but after Oso broke up, there was a time when one of y'all, or maybe both of y'all, hit me up about maybe playing some piano with you guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you recall, but I was like, no, I can't, I don't know how. And I said no. And I remember the incredulous look, particularly from Ryan, like, that's that same thing I was talking to you about, like the assumption that I would know what I was doing.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah.
But it's also that thing you were talking about where you're like, no, you can do this. And I wish that I had. I really, really regret not doing that.
The door's still open.
Well, okay. Well, then we'll do it. Let's definitely do it.
Because I think Ryan's the same way.
Yeah.
I think he gets into those situations too. And he's learned a little bit kind of through the back door. And it's funny to, be in a band practice or rehearsal, or someone's going, what chord is that? And he's like, and he does the thing you just said. He's like, I'm playing this, this, and this, but then I leave this note open. So I guess I'm playing this chord with this in the bass. And he says it like a question, and he kind of raises his shoulders and is like, right? Is that, or is this diminished? Is this,
Right. Yeah. Well, if I've gathered anything about people who know a lot about theory, it is that there are 100 different ways to say stuff. So maybe he's,
I think he's
got
the
it
same
all
way.
locked in. But yeah, I get that. I get that impression.
And you guys are smart. That's the thing is like, and I think you guys don't.
We can get by.
Y'all have good ears, and you make cool music, and you create complex stuff just because you don't know what it is, what it's called. Doesn't mean you can't do it, or that you're stupid or something.
There's definitely there's pros and cons to it, I think.
Yeah.
But I do think that like not having a ton of theoretical knowledge, I'm not advocating for it. I think everyone's better off knowing more, but I do think you can kind of get out of conventions because you haven't learned so much that, movements to this place or this place seem automatic.
I always like the thing where someone says, it's like the theory is not rules, it's observations.
Yeah.
It's like someone just went through music and started going, okay, this works. They didn't write the rules first and go, everything kind of has to adhere to that.
Right.
And so I think that was a big deal for me, was to hear, okay, they're not the rules. This is someone just trying to make sense of all of it.
Yeah.
And that's, those of us who are self-taught, we kind of always thought, oh, those are the rules, and I'm lesser for not knowing them, but we all made sense of it in our own minds.
Right. Well, and then there's the people on the far other end of the spectrum, like Jacob Collier, who basically understand theory so well that what he has kind of landed at, if I could paraphrase, is that like there are no rules, and every note works with every note. And that's crazy, that idea that there is no such thing as a wrong note.
Yeah.
When there's stuff that,
it's like we're
but somehow or another he can be like, no, check it out and do it. It's really cool. But yeah, if anything, I wish I could roll back to super young, like no knowledge Adrian that's just operating completely from heart and feel.
Yeah.
And just putting my hands down and just making those discoveries, which, I can. It just
You should. I want you to. I don't like shoulds. But,
well, I have been, a la The War of Art, that Pressfield book, I have been sitting down intentionally to write pretty much every day.
Good.
For some amount of time, sort of trying to, he talks about invoking the muse. And that it's a discipline. So if you sit down and do it, that's the whole thing I was talking about very early on about rebuilding a new process.
Yeah.
That fits with being a family man, something I've never done. So now I am in the process of building my new process and seeing what that looks like. And everybody's on board. Everybody in the fam is like, all right, we get it. You need to figure out how this is supposed to work, and we're going to be behind you all the way for it. So
I'm also on board. And I think you got a lot more people who are on board than you realize even.
I'll take it, man. Thank you.
We done?
That seems like a good.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for having me. I love you too, man. Thanks for saying that. Tell Hildy I love her.
Of course.
And I speak for Ryan as well.
Dude, give Ryan a hug for me. I love that boy.
It's on.
All right.